everyone, my name is MJ Vilches, and welcome to another part in my Journey to Awesomeness workflow. We're at part 12, and for this stream we are going to be animating a shot for Doodle Log 005. So yeah, yesterday I finalized the animatics, but not really, because there are some parts still that I still need to draw, but you know, I decided to just start animation anyways, because that's what I always do for Doodle Logs anyway, to just, you know, to doodle it. But yeah, for this stream, we're going to be using Blender to animate, of course. And yeah, we're going to be animating Doodle Log 005. So for the shot of Doodle Log 005, I'm going to go back. I'm actually going to have to open Kdenlive here, because I'm going to render a shot that we'll need from the animatics. So I'm just gonna open Kdenlive here. I'm using Kdenlive version 20.08.0, and for Blender I'm using version 2.90.1. So it's just gonna wait for Kdenlive to open up here. It shouldn't take too long, because Kdenlive's, you know, Kdenlive, Blender, they both open pretty quick. So yeah, Kdenlive's here already, unlike, you know, any other video editing software. So yeah, I'm gonna open the Doodle Log 005 animatics, and hopefully the stream is going well. And I'm going to grab the shot. Right, I'm gonna start with this shot right here, because I want to start in chronological order according to the events that happen. So this is like the first thing that happens on that day, because the intro here happened like a few days or months after that. This part right here happened months after this one right here. So I'm gonna start here, so that, because there's a part in Doodle Log 005, spoiler alert, there's a part in Doodle Log 005 where the production caverns changes, and this part is, you know, it didn't change yet. So you know, so it's easy to like animate stuff without the caverns still changed. I need to start, well, on a part where the caverns is still on its original state before the change, and this is the first shot of that. So I'm gonna grab this shot. Hopefully the sound is great. It's not too distracting. Okay. I'm gonna grab this shot right here. Just that whole shot, that wide shot. So you're gonna press O to set like an out point. This is the in point. By pressing I, you set an in point, or you know, this is like a zone where you can choose whether to render just this zone or the whole thing. So I set it this way in Kdenlive so that I will only render this part. So I'm gonna render this now. I'm gonna press Control Enter. That's the keyboard shortcut for render, which you can also actually do right here. Should be in project right here, Control, and this one. Just gonna press Control Enter because it's quicker, and I'm gonna go set it to an MP4 format. I'm gonna select the folder where I want to save it, which will be in vlog right here, Doodle Log, render, raw. I'm gonna create a new folder, Doodle Log 005. I'm gonna create another new folder, call it animatics, and then I'm just gonna go DL5 shot 1. I'm gonna make this shot 1. So I'm gonna press yeah, save. I'm gonna save that, and I'm gonna select selected zone so that it will only render the selected zone here, and then I'm gonna render. Hey there, Mbuddy, welcome. Also, J Studio PH, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you'll stay till the end. Yeah, Just gonna render this, and it should be very quick because it's just a very short shot. So I'm gonna clean that up, close, Control Save, Control S, and then I'm just gonna close that, and I'm gonna create a new Blender scene here. That's not Control S yet. So to start this shot, that wide shot, I will need to go and open and go to Doodle Log's projects, big change, Blender, and I'm gonna go down here and open the production caverns file. This one. So this is the production caverns, all of it. There's sequence 008, that's a huge spoiler by the way. And this is sequence 005. I actually added the changes that should be that will be happening here, which that shouldn't be there yet. Nothing's in sequence 005 too. I should move this guys right here. I'm gonna move this to sequence 005 too. I'm gonna disable that. And I'm gonna be doing some physics, some rigid body physics for this column, this part right here. This will be like cracking, and hopefully it will work well. But you know, we're not gonna worry about that. We'll need this part right here because this is the shot. The shot that we're gonna be working on is happening right here. So I'm just gonna go and see if things are good. I'm gonna Control S, Control Shift S. I'm gonna go to Animation, Doodle Log 005. I'm gonna go name a folder named 3D because these are 3D animations. I'm gonna go DL005 shot 1. And now we have shot 1. I'm going to delete some sequences here. I'm gonna delete probably, not sure if I want to delete this one, but I'm definitely gonna delete sequence 8 because we were not gonna be needing that. Delete hierarchy, just so we don't have too much stuff in it. It's so that it's not gonna be too big of a Blender file. I'll probably need sequence 6 there, but I won't need the other sequence 5. Yeah, I won't need this. And then I have to turn on the other sequences back here. But probably we'll also turn them off later. I don't need the roof yet. I'm gonna add the walls. Probably just the other wall. Add the entrance right there. And now let's set up our scene right here. I'm also gonna be deleting all the proxies. Delete all that. Just so we have only the production caverns here. So I wanted to start importing, or saving, or importing, the scene first, or the environment first. And then after that, I'll be appending here the character models. So I'm gonna delete all of the cameras that are right here. There shouldn't be any cameras here, only the lights. So I think we're good. And then let's add a new camera. Or maybe, yeah, append the characters first. So let's see. So I might have this is gonna look way different from the animatics. Anyways, I'm gonna append my CG self. So I'm gonna go scene collection, file. I have to make sure that I select scene collection and not any of the collections here. Otherwise, whatever I append will go inside the selected collection here. So I need to select scene collection so that the appended collection will go outside of the other collections that are here. So I'm gonna go file, append, and I'm just gonna go back to the Blender files back here, and I'm gonna grab this one, CGMJ 2020 Adventure Mode, because this has all the stuff and you can't see it here because by default Blender appends anything on the world origin, not on the cursor. So what I'm gonna do first though is I'm going to make sure that all this extra files goes to a folder or a collection named hide, so that they don't clutter up the outliner here. So yeah, that's a lot of that's a lot of objects there. I'm gonna put this inside CGMJ Adventure because that's some stuff for this asset, for this character asset. So we gotta select the rig, and then I'm gonna Shift S, selection to cursor, keep offset. And that should snap the whole model to this part. So the thing that I don't like about appending though, yeah, I guess it's fine. Maybe fine still, we'll see. So yeah, originally this model is like right here in the entrance because that's where the world origin is. So I had to like move him here in object mode so that, you know, he's in the right position. So after positioning the character here, I'm going to go to video editing. Actually, I'm gonna add a new workspace here, video editing, and I'm gonna look for maybe we'll do it here. And go to Files D, Documents. Wait, I think I have, yeah, I have favorites here. Doodle Nodes, Projects, Big Change. Is it in big? No, it's not in Big Change. I'm gonna go back up. Vlog, Doodle Log, Render, and it's in Raw. Doodle Log 005 Animatics, and I'm just gonna drag and drop that here, and that's our shot. And why is this? That's weird. It needs to be HDTV 1080p. Why did it change to like a 2K resolution or something? Oh well, it's fine now, I guess. So you need to make sure that it's 1080p and it's 24 frames per second, which is what it is. Did I just render? No, never mind. So this is how long our shot is. Just about 80 plus frame. We're probably gonna be finished animating this today. We'll see. I mean, in just 1 hour. So you're gonna set this as the last frame because this is the last frame of the shot. So the animatics really helps in like not making you animate, you know, longer shots, or you know, too long of a shot than you need. So the animatics helps with that. It just, you know, it saves time because you can just, you know, grab the shot from the animatics and then set the start and final frame, and that's it. You don't have to like guess how long a shot would have to be while animating. That's why animatics are essential in making like episodes like Doodle Log, like, you know, what I'm doing. You have to make animatics. I did not do that in the first episode of Journey to Awesomeness. That's why that episode kind of doesn't feel like it's paced right, and it took longer than it should because I did not make animatics for that one. But for the rest, I just really forced myself to not be too lazy to create animatics, and it actually made things really easy. Like the workflow, like really a proper workflow is going to save you a lot of time when animating. So I'm gonna go to the animation workspace here, but I'm gonna go back to layout first because I want to set up a camera. It's easier to set things up here because there's just only a few windows. So I'm gonna put the 3D cursor here. I'm gonna Shift A, and unlike the append, when you Shift A or add an object in Blender, it adds it on the 3D cursor. And I think the camera is so small right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm selecting the camera, but it's just so small, or I don't see it. It's right there, but I don't see it. I wonder why. It's because I turned it off. Yeah. just turn on extras from the overlays here, viewport overlays. So I'm just gonna go do that, point it towards my CG self. Just move it around where I think it would be nicely positioned, but of course it will be changed depending on how it looks when I look at the camera view now. So I'm looking at the camera view now. I'm just gonna quickly set up the camera here. Passe part out. I like that to be a bit darker so that we don't, you know, count the things outside of the camera and more focused right here. So I will need to make this, put this further away. This needs to be a wide shot. I might change this to like a 30 millimeter. Yeah, I'm probably gonna start right here, and jumping here, walk, and then jump again. It's probably going to be the animation. We'll see. So anyways, I'm just gonna position. I'm gonna go tab into post mode now, or maybe shift S selection to cursor, just so character is right there where I want it. I'm gonna control tab and position it properly. And one of the rule of thumbs of animation is that the only times you will manipulate this root bone is when you want to position the characters properly. After that, you don't touch it anymore. It's best to move the characters using the other bones instead of moving this one, because it gets really, I actually experienced it, it gets really complicated. I did that with 9. I moved the root bone as well, and it took longer than it should. That 9 animation actually took too long. I almost canceled it, but I just forced myself to finish it. And that wasn't a fun experience, because, you know, it's difficult to animate when you move the root bone as well. So I'm just gonna hide this because we won't need this anymore. I will probably need to append the script, the Python file for the rig layers menu on the end panel. This one right here. You just have to append it from the same blend file where you got the the asset. It should be there. Text file, Python. And I'm gonna go to scripting, and I'm gonna open, oh, it's already here actually. It appends it with the model, but it doesn't run it right away, so what you just have to do is press this run script, and it should put the rig layers here. This interface, I forgot what it's the settings or panel or whatever, UI, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, we have this here. I've hidden the root bone, and now I can go to animation. And for this other screen, this needs to be the camera view. And then I'm gonna split a different window here, and we are going to open the video sequencer. I'm gonna and control tab, and that would just give us the clip that we imported, the clip from the animatics. So now we can start animation. So I'm gonna go camera view here as well, and then press period so that the focus of the viewport is on whatever is selected, and I purposely selected the torso bone so that we are rotating around my CG self. So the animation would be jumping, kind of like how it looks here.
Proceed to sequence 005.
So yeah, that's all. So this won't be too difficult. First, we're gonna do some post-to-post animation first, plotting out keyframes first, then extremes, then breakdowns. The usual workflow that I always follow when animating. So yeah, first thing, keyframes. So I am going to turn off probably, or maybe not. I'm just gonna collapse the different collections here that we're most probably not going to be using. Most definitely. I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to control tab first to object mode here. Move the camera on camera and lights. And then I'm probably going to hide some of the bones here. So I'm going to turn on viewport display, render, probably this too as well. We won't really be using it now. It's going to be more used while rendering. Right now we're still on the animation stage. So, but I just want to turn it on just so there's space here. It creates like a space here so that these buttons are not right here. It's, you know, it's right here. It's like not near the edge. So I'm going to disable in the viewport the PB armature, which is the armature for the buttons, and also the bag armature, so that we only have the character armature here. I will also have to animate the bag armature because it will not deform properly with the character. But yeah, let's add a keyframe. So I'm gonna make sure that keying is set to keyframe here, and I'm probably also going to set an active keying set here. Set it to location, rotation, and scale. Usually do that, but you know, I think it's best to only apply keyframes on the stuff that you would need. Which, you know, if you only want to animate location, you just add location. If you only want to animate location and rotation, you know, and so on and so forth. I think that's understandable. But I, you know, just to avoid myself, just to, you know, just so, because sometimes I don't know what I want for a shot, I just add everything. Anyways, let's get going. So I'm gonna turn on auto keying as well, and I'm gonna press I just to add a keyframe there. I don't know, I just want to start my animations like that. And yeah, and then I'm gonna start posing. So the pose will be when I'm about to jump. So probably need to move this. Let's collapse some settings here. I'm probably gonna have to move this one. I'm gonna turn off auto keying for now because I don't want it to save a key. I want to start right at the edge here. And then I will hide that again and turn on auto keying again. And then position, do the first pose. So just, you know, the position of like about to jump. I also wanna turn off subdivision surface, just so we can animate smooth with more frames per second. I will need to move, apparently, put the armature below subdivision surface, which, you know, I usually don't do. This one as well, apparently. Probably best to put it. Oh, actually, this one's right. Stupid. Anyways. Yeah. This should, you know, animate smoothly. I can move each of the bones smoother now than before. Because before it kind of feels like it's lagging, but now it feels, you know, feels really light. So I'm gonna go just position the bones. I probably need to use IK for this one. I mean FK, because the arms it's easier to animate FK when the arms is not, you know, resting on anything, and it's just hanging on the side of a character like that. So I'm gonna use FK, and I will need to enable the FK bones here. And I'm just gonna go in the. I can use gizmos too, by the way, by, you know, enabling the gizmos here. Probably set it to local, so that it's, you know. And if you disable overlays, it's kind of like how, you know, when you see the making ofs of animations from Disney, they always have, you know, something like this, the gizmos. It's kind of like that. The difference is, I think it's in Maya. It's kind of like Maya. I'm not sure. So yeah, kind of like that, I guess. I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna Alt R this. And let's pose. Let's try and get that first pose. Yeah, I think that's good. I can just Control C this and Control V so that it's mirrored on the other side. It's actually Control Shift V to like paste a mirrored, you know, paste the pose here to this bones, mirroring it. So I'm gonna go and go here. I'm gonna turn off gizmos because I don't really like using it. I like using the RXX because it kind of functions the same way without the gizmo like obstructing the view. Can turn off overlays. I map the show overlays to this. I mapped Q to, you know, I set Q as the shortcut for show overlays so that I can easily just, you know, turn it on or off and toggle it on or off. So yeah, select that again, and I'm gonna select every bone here, RXX, so that rotated like that, and I'm gonna Alt G because that they will be slightly moved when I rotate them together. So let's see, let's zoom in here. I think I can bring this back a bit. Like that. I'm just really posing the character to go into like a jumping position. And I can just select all of this, Control C, Control Shift V. And that's just what I always do. And there we have it. It's actually also advisable to also pose the face, but I usually don't do that. I do it last. But yeah, I guess we can post the face for the keyframes. And for the face, I can probably just use the saved post libraries here. Probably go for apologetic here. Or no, not apologetic. Maybe determined. And then I will need other faces here, so I'm gonna have to go append each of the actions because they don't append automatically. So I'm gonna append all of the faces here. The phoneme post templates. This saves a lot of time when animating mouth or dialogue. Just setting up some phoneme templates really saves a lot of time in lip syncing. So I'm gonna go get an E frown here. Probably an ETC. Because jumping down. Probably an M here. An MBP. Yeah, maybe that will work. So this is the first keyframe. First pose. Next, we go to the next pose, which will be at the bottom here. So yeah, next pose, I'll be at the bottom. So I just need to grab the torso bone and the leg bones and move them on that spot. So I'm just gonna try and roughly do it by eye. So I just, let's see if this moves properly. No, it doesn't. I'm just gonna have to use the world origins axis. And yeah, this part is slightly slanted, so I'm probably just gonna animate it normally instead of like animating like him sliding a bit. Or maybe I should. Yeah, maybe I should animate it. Kinda losing balance a bit. And then the face, shocked or something. Yeah, kind of shocked. I'm gonna go back to frown and go with air. Kind of shocked. Oh no! Bad. Not good, not good, not good, not good. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, because we did an oopsie. Hopefully I can Control Z far enough. Oh man. Of course you did something like this. First oopsie of the day. And I need to put this back. Because, you know what the mistake is? Mistake is, I'm still at frame 1. When I should be moving that to the next frame. Why am I so stupid? Now we're back to doing... Yeah, avoid. I guess I make mistakes so you guys won't have to. I guess it's fine to show you the mistakes because, you know, everyone, you will do it. You will do it too. You're probably gonna wonder why, you know, your animation looks weird. That's, you know, maybe you just didn't set the keyframe right. Okay, this is our first pose. Let's play the animation so that we'll know.
Take long for me to proceed.
So jump, land right here, jump, land, probably right here at 18, jump, land. So I'm trying to like time it in my head more, just thinking about how long it may take for one to jump.
Take long for me to proceed.
It would be best to have a reference for this one, like a live action reference, but you know, let's wing it.
Take long for
make more mistakes.
Take long for me. Take long for me to proceed.
So jump, land. I think this is where you would land if you jump, like in real time. You jump from this height. So frame 16. Now we do that again. Move right here and position the feet RXX to slightly slide down. So I'm not going to be animating this like how I animate the TUPE-01 episodes. This is going to be more like a janky animation. So I guess a keyframe here. So I guess I land first without a problem and then start sliding. Because the floor here is kind of sloped. So just, you know. So add keyframe right there for everything. And I'm gonna grab the base of the fingers here. RXX, Alt G, because if you rotate all of them at once, they will be moved, slightly moved, the location will slightly change, and we don't want that. So I'm just gonna rotate them together. Alt G, and that should do it. I think we're fine for this pose. And we'll animate the bag straps and the other stuff last.
Take long for me to proceed.
So I need to set this to constant.
Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed.
Probably closer.
Take long for me to proceed. To seek.
And then start
Take
sliding.
long for me to proceed. To sequence.
Whoa!
Take long for me to proceed. To sequence. Long for me to proceed.
I'm probably gonna add.
Long for me to proceed. To sequence.
Add a keyframe here, I think.
Take long for me to proceed.
Land here.
Take long for me to proceed. To sequence.
So I need to plan the rest of the key posting. The key poses should not be too many, I think, for stuff like this, just so it's not that
Take
complicated.
long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed. To sequence.
So
Take
it's
long for me
jump,
to proceed. Take
jump,
long for me to proceed.
land,
To sequence.
kind of sliding a bit, and then this is going to be the next key pose, where I'm kind of like stopping myself from like falling here. So I'm gonna slide, probably not move there too much, rotate like this. Bring down a bit. This other leg will be moving back. This other leg almost at the edge here. Let's see how that looks. So I'm just gonna add keyframe here. Let's check how this looks. And actually going to like whoa, that whoa pose. So you're like stopping yourself from falling further. So I'm just gonna pose like that, raise the shoulder. And then the arms right here, raise it like that. And then I'm gonna also rotate it that way. And then the fingers will be slightly opened. So like that, it's like all of this base right here. Alt G. So it will be like that. Maybe open it a bit. Control C, Control Shift V, so it's copied to the other pose. And then you're gonna select the mouth and the face, and do that shocked expression again. So it's slide. Ooh.
To sequence. To sequence.
And then falls down. Not really fall down, but kind of like a controlled, because slowing down here and then lands the bottom here.
0, 0. Take long for me to proceed. To sequence 0, 0, 5.
So
Take
it's
long. Take long for me
jump,
to proceed.
land,
To
whoa,
sequence 0, 0, 5.
and then lands here. So yeah, just using my own voice to make sound effects as events unfold. And then lands right here. So I guess that's about the right distance. If this is a more serious project, I'd be more serious about the calculations of that. But since this is, you know, Doodle Log, I just allow myself to slack off a bit. Because I'm not really supposed to take too much time animating this. Because most of the time should be given to the main animations. So yeah, right now it looks like it's teleporting Mbuddy. Because we're still doing the keyframes, the key poses. It actually kind of slopes to the drop here. If we're being very accurate scientifically, I'd slide and probably fall off. But this is animation. We can bend the laws of physics, or completely ignore it. So yeah, I allow myself to do that. Normally for a film, I try to make it follow physics as much as possible, because that's what I like about, you know, films and animations and stuff. When there's like, you know, there are stuff where physics is bent a bit, but you know, when it's completely ignored, that's where I'm kind of thrown off for an animation. But yeah, I guess for Doodle Logs and Journey to Awesomeness videos, I still try to keep it grounded to the laws of physics. But you know, this is animation, and I allow myself to just, you know, not follow the rules a bit. So yeah, it's another key pose, and it's already been 42 minutes. Yes, that's how long animations take, by the way. It's just like a few seconds of animation of a shot, but you know, it takes a lot, especially for like more complicated scenes. This one's easier because you know, I'm just animating the poses and stuff, animating like a quick action. But for dialogue scenes and scenes that require physics simulation, it will take a lot of time. And then I'm just gonna go for, I think I'm gonna keep the expression here, but only close the mouth. Probably an ETC. Mbuddy! I am not understanding the reference of that. I don't know where. I cannot relate to what you just said. Sideways gravity, sideways gravity. Where was that? Where was that? Is that, you know, is that something from this series? Is it from Apex? Is it from Apex? Anyways. There we have the key pose. Now we have, and that's it. That's actually.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence 005. 005.
And then stands up right here.
Sequence
Whoa.
005.
And then, you know, you stand in this frame, the last key pose, I think, I'd be like relaxing and standing up and composing, or whatever is the term for like relaxing, and just going back to like that state where, you know, the panic state from sliding down here, and is, you know, is gone at this point in this frame. Just, you know, taking an exhale from the almost trip, from an almost accident. So, you know, just like that. I won't really be too meticulous with the animations of Doodle Log 005. And then I'm gonna go back to face pose template. Oh, right, Mbuddy, right. Anyways, yes, and you're gonna go probably do a WQ here, or ooh for the whew. Maybe O. An aw. Oh. Okay.
Sequence 005.
Yeah. There we go.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence 005.
So now we have the key poses. I'm now going to animate the camera, because the camera needs to like track me, the subject. So I'm gonna just add a keyframe here for the camera, go to the last part, and then rotate it RXX RZ, and I'm going to keep the subject inside. And let's go to composition guides and turn on thirds, and I just want, you know, the subject to start from this side of the camera, which should be right, and it's close to that side, I guess, is fine. And then
for me to proceed to sequence 005.
So on the camera will just go do that.
005.
Probably need to move this,
Take long for me to proceed to sequence.
or maybe keep it there but move it further, putting the characters slightly on the center there, or the subject.
Long for me to proceed to sequence 005.
Excuse me. So yeah, I guess the camera is looking
Take long for me to proceed.
great. I'm going to turn off some of the sequences here because I want to be able to have a nice playback. Can probably turn off sequence 004 for the during the animation.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence.
So yeah, as you can see, it kind of, you know,
Take long for me to proceed.
adds more FPS,
Sequence 005.
reducing some elements.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence 005.
Okay. Now we can proceed to adding some extremes. So I'm just gonna go here to keying. 'Cause, you know,
Take long
it
for me to
looks.
proceed.
I think it looks nice already.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence
Slide,
005.
fall, and then
Take long
relax.
for me-
So now we can add Mbuddy. The rest of the hair is not hidden away. The texture is just not enabled. That's why you don't see it. But let me just show you something here. I guess I'm gonna have to do that. All I need to do is set this to texture, and that will take a lot of time, by the way, to load in, or maybe not too much time. But yeah, it will cause Blender to not respond, but then it will show up, and you can see there that it's already shown the texture. It's not shown because, you know, the back of the hair is a texture, not like a object. And it can make that look even better by setting it to matte cap. I like the look of the matte cap here. So now I can turn this off. We don't need the reference anymore. We just need this whole screen to the left here to consume, to like show our animation.
Take long for me to proceed.
So turning on the texture, setting this to texture doesn't actually affect FPS.
Take long for
It's still about the same FPS from before.
to sequence.
So I just forgot to turn it on because I didn't really need it. I only turn on texture when I need to know where, you know, the character needs to look. And when you set this to material, it's not really clear because, you know, the eyes are just one color. So yeah. Right now I'm in a viewport, in a solid shading mode. If I want to see like the texture really, I'd go to material preview, but that would make this load up, and the shader compilation will take so much time.
Take long for me to proceed.
And it won't even play. It would like slow the, will reduce the FPS by a lot because, you know, if I have a stronger computer, I can probably set this to rendered mode, and still be able to animate this in real time. But since I'm working on a laptop that's not too powerful, I will have to settle with the solid view for now.
For me to proceed to seek.
Sometimes though, when I set this to material preview, it still would play the same FPS even from here. But I think it's taking too much from the laptop, so I'm just using a solid view. So yeah, right now let's proceed to animating. I'm gonna set the keyframe type to extreme because that's it's the process. I'm gonna add an extreme for like the jumping, like maybe jump right here. The jump right here. So I can probably do Shift E here, so that it's moved to like the center of, like it adds a breakdown, moving the character, like creating a spline or like an in between. That is like a motion. If you add Bezier, if you set this to like a Bezier interpolation, the character would be right here when it's not in constant interpolation. Hopefully that's understandable. And I'm just gonna bring this up for the jump, and I'm going to bring back one leg here, animate this one like that, bring it back a bit, and then move some stuff here as I jump. Raise the shoulder and the arm. I probably still look down, and leg needs to be more stretched, and probably rotate it more like that. So let's preview that.
Take long for me to proceed. Take long.
Probably need to raise this a bit.
Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed.
I probably need to also copy the position of this. Control C, Control Shift. Oh no, Control C and go to the next frame. Control V. Probably move this back a bit. That's stretching out too far. Let's move this back a bit. Like that.
Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed.
So that's the first breakdown.
Take long for me to,
I mean extreme.
Take long for me to.
Probably need to like
Take long for me to proceed.
add a keyframe. Oh, there should be a keyframe here, I think. I don't think.
Long for me to proceed.
Whoa!
Zero. Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me.
So
take long for me to proceed.
Here, and I'm gonna add a breakdown right here. I mean an extreme, I always say breakdown. As the sliding happens. And then rotate this torso bone to kinda like a panic state. Ooh. So I'm just making some dialogue and some voices. So I'm gonna go back to phoneme frown here and probably get the as the because you know sliding.
For me to proceed to sequence. Take long for me to proceed
Whoa.
to sequence. Long for me.
So for the extremes, I'm just putting one frame in the middle of each keyframe.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence.
Whoa.
0.
and then another. I will not shift E this part. I will only move myself kind of forward like that, and then kind of, you know, tiptoeing like this, moving this near the edge, because you're trying not to fall too hard by kind of stopping myself here. This will not be the best animation there is, because like I said, Doodle Log animations, I don't want it to take too much time. I need to be able to finish this shot today and a couple more shots.
To sequence.
Probably need to move this here.
To sequence.
And then I can probably just add another frame here. Probably just Shift E this and move it up. And then RXX, RZZ, and I want to bring it back to where they were before. Something like that, maybe. Okay, there we go. Just slightly moving some of the, and probably get the again.
To sequence 0. To sequence 0. To sequence 0. To sequence 0.
Okay,
Take long from
that looks nice.
To sequence
Whoa.
005.
And I'm just gonna Shift E this actually, right here.
Sequence 005.
And then I guess I'm gonna add another. I guess it's going to just be an extreme here. Just, you know, getting the bearings back.
005. Take long for me to proceed. To sequence 005.
Okay.
Take.
So now after that, we're almost done here. I'm just gonna go set the keyframe type to breakdown, and we're gonna add the breakdowns. So in between extremes and keyframes, in between each keyframe here. So that's the workflow that I'm doing for my animations. So I'm just gonna Shift E here.
Take long for me.
I'm probably going to not Shift E actually. I'm going to copy this, Control Shift V. Not Control Shift V, Control V. And this shouldn't be there. Let's be more. I'm gonna Control C, Control V that. I'm just gonna move this GY.
Take long from.
Just, you know, that anticipation, I guess, for the jump.
Take long from.
And then Shift E here.
Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me to.
I'm going to raise this up a bit. Bring this down some. Probably gonna Shift E this so that it's kind of back to this position. Let's see.
Take long for me to proceed.
And the Shift E here, probably right there.
Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed. Long for me to proceed.
I'm probably going
Take
to
long
add
for
a
me to proceed.
breakdown here.
Long for me to proceed. Take
So,
long for me to proceed.
jump.
Take long for me to proceed.
I will have to
Take long for
retime
me.
this, by the way.
Take long. Take long for me to proceed. Take
Because it seems like it's taking too long to land there.
take long for me to proceed.
This point, I should have hit the floor.
Take long for me to proceed.
I mean, my foot already reached the floor.
Take long for me to proceed. Take long for
So
take long for me to proceed.
for this one, I'm gonna shift E, but bring it back a bit because whoa, the reaction to the sudden sliding. When you jump and then you slide and then you try to get your to balance yourself. Trying to be not a clumsy one right here. So I'm just gonna go right there, and I'm gonna change the expression to like that surprised expression now, with a shocked or awe.
Long for me to proceed. Long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed.
Whoa! And then I can probably add another breakdown right here.
For me to proceed. Long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed. To seek.
And then Shift E here as well. That's pretty much, this how I animate Doodle Logs or Journey to Awesomeness episodes.
For me to proceed. To seek. Proceed. To sequence. For me to proceed. To sequence.
Oh.
To seek.
Maybe I could just do this. Make this into a busier.
Take long for me to proceed.
Oh.
To sequence.
Maybe I can add some more, kind of like.
Me to proceed.
This.
Take long for me to proceed. To sequence 0 0. Take long for me to proceed. To sequence. Take long for me to proceed. To
Yeah, I probably need to add like more. Kind of more.
Me to proceed. For me to proceed.
He's kind of moving too slow here. I probably need to move some
Me to
keyframes.
proceed. For me to proceed.
Yeah. Keyframes need to be
Me to
moved.
proceed. Me to proceed. To proceed. To see. To see. To see. To sequence.
That's too fast.
To sequence. To seek.
Probably here.
To sequence. To sequence. To sequence. To seek.
Or maybe I can do something like this. I'm gonna set I usually use the back dynamic effects.
To sequence. To seek.
Too much. But I'm probably gonna not apply it on the feet. So T, set this to Bezier. And move the feet right here.
To sequence. To sequence. To
See?
sequence. To sequence. To sequence. To sequence 0 0. To sequence.
And then move the rest.
Sequence. Sequence 0.
And turn off the back dynamic effects for like this 3K frames right here.
Sequence.
So what is using? One of the bones is still using a dynamic. Probably because I did not add a keyframe here. Let's see. So one of the bones here is still using the back dynamic effect, and I think it's the torso bone. T here, Bezier.
To sequence. To sequence 0. To sequence 0 0 5. Take long from
Okay, I think we have it.
sequence 0 0 5. Take long for me to proceed. To sequence 0 0 5.
There we go.
Take long for me to proceed.
Whoa,
To sequence
what?
0 0 5.
Whew.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence zeros.
So yeah,
Take long for
that's pretty much is
take long
it.
for me to proceed.
This is not like, you know, Pixar level animation. This is how I animate Doodle Log episodes or Journey to Awesomeness episodes.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence.
So yeah,
Take long
in just an hour we managed to like create like a quick animation like this.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence.
And I have to make, I'll have to animate more shots for this short. So you know, I don't want to be too meticulous.
Take long for me to proceed.
And this is pretty much, you know, useful for me
005.
for the episode. I
Take
just
long.
need to fix like the bags and stuff,
Take long for me to proceed.
and like the buttons here needs to like animate
Take
nicely.
long for me to proceed to sequence 005.
Whew.
Take long for me to proceed to sequence 005. Take long for me to proceed. Take long for me to proceed to sequence. Take long for me to proceed to sequence. Take long for me to proceed to sequence 005. Take long for me to proceed to sequence.
So yeah, that's it for this. It's already been an hour and 6 minutes. And yeah, hopefully I've shared some knowledge here in like making quick animations like this. Of course, you need to be more meticulous if you want to reach like the level of Disney or Pixar or whatever. There's still, you know, it's this process, but you know, more. You need to like be more meticulous, more serious. And, like the motion needs to be like the poses. You need to be more, you know, you'd want it to be nice and appealing, and the animation looks smoother. You know, if you're gonna reach that kind of level, there's more work to be done. But for, like I said, this is a workflow. This is a Journey to Awesomeness animation workflow. You know, I just settle with something like this.
To sequence.
And you know, the more serious animations will go to the first episode of the Underland project and more serious projects. But yeah, for this one, this is it. And I'm still going to be editing some stuff here, refining this a bit off recording. But yeah, for the most part, this will be used. But anyways, yeah, that's all. Hopefully I've shared enough knowledge. I want to thank you guys for watching, who watch this from start to finish, whether you watch it live or after the live stream. Thank you so much. Say hi to the chats. Say something in the chats if you watch this live. But yeah, that's all. Thank you to my KoFi givers, to the Golden Doodle Fuel givers, to Magnolia Weathershield, Erick Madrigal, Elizabeth Munie, Tristan Wintle, GulliermoGage, and Mbuddy. Thank you so much. If you want to support me in all my endeavors, just go to ko-fi.com/doodlemoseproductions. The only perk right now, there's actually one perk, and the only perk is that you'd be able to have a VIP access on the World to Awesomeness Discord server. That's where I make updates, I chat with you guys, I can help you with your Blender stuff if I'm available. There's a help island there where you can ask for help about any Blender stuff, and yeah, just talk to people with the same interest, I guess, or show your skills. You can share your artworks there. If you made games, you can share it there. If you made music, there's a channel, there's a whole category there where you can do that. And yeah, consider liking and liking this video if it helped you, following or subscribing to the Doodle Boat, and also to Doodle Nose Productions, my main channel, if you want to see some films and animations done using only free and open source software on a laptop. Hopefully that's just the start, and maybe someday we'll go further in our journey. Yeah, consider following Doodle Nose Productions everywhere. And yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. My name is MJ Vilches, and yeah, I gotta finish a lot of animations for the next Doodle Log. So, bye.